Ready to roll.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to the May 24th meeting of the Litchfield Recreation Commission. We have 5 members present, including a new one. Welcome Mike Bosky to the Litchfield Recreation Commission. Selectmen swore him in last week?
Last night?
Last night. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you for joining our group. We have a couple of visitors tonight, or are you together?
No, it's okay.
Who came first?
You can go first.
Fire away.
So,
Come on up. Talk to us. See if you can talk to the microphone, that way you can hear. Also helps me.
So I come to a meeting, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, but about, and I submitted the paperwork for the group fitness and in any of the fields. So I don't know if you guys had a chance to look over that.
Yeah, we did. He did come to, I think it was 2 meetings ago, requesting use of the fields
Yes.
for a workout, similar to what Debbie Rice does, offering workout sessions. Sorry, what's your name again?
Chris Marr.
Chris, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted, because we did get the email. I think that also had the,
And on here I had put Sawmill Brook, but I just wasn't sure if, because if that field's being used around that time, then I'll use another field. I just wasn't sure what the schedules were for, like, because I remember you saying as long as I weren't conflicting with like soccer and lacrosse.
I know what Debbie does with hers. What? Just help me, because I missed the last meeting you were at. What are you looking to do? Like, are you
Just train, small group train. Like I have so many of my friends that still live in Litchfield, as well as like my younger sisters, and I even have older cousins that are always wanting to work out with me. And I just figured to make use of the fields here, and just so everyone can come to me instead of going and training everyone else. So like outdoor group training with very little to no equipment, kind of like boot camp style.
did you say you had the forms?
I have a copy of mine.
Yeah,
right here, yeah.
could you
Yeah, sure.
bring it up just? 'Cause I can't find your email at the moment. Thank you.
I remember talking about this?
So 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Well, yeah. So I figured.
approximately?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's just a time frame.
Monday through Friday, June through August.
So I think the question that we came up with when we talked about this the last meeting, or 2 meetings ago, it all goes back to it, was we asked, I think other organizations have done stuff like this, what's the give back? What's the give back to the Recreation Commission if you're gonna run a for-profit grouping? What's the benefit? And there's all open things.
Okay.
I mean, how many people can get into that group with Keep It Moving as a, like we do in basketball and other organizations in town, we have a no charge policy for certain applicants, or we've got some groups that utilize our facilities and do things, whether it be donate to the recreation fund, the revolving fund, or whatever. What's the take back, I guess? I think that was the big question that came up when we talked about this last meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even aware of a bunch of that stuff, so I wouldn't be opposed to doing any of those. Like, I would definitely be interested in finding out what I can do with that. So,
So are you charging individuals, and you're just opening this up to say, come work out with me at such and such a time? Is there a so it's profit? Okay, all right. So
Right.
so it is. There is a fee for these individuals to come work out with you.
yeah.
Okay.
So are you saying that you want, like,
Well, what
Yeah,
did we
maybe
do
it's
for?
like-
We have Debbie Rice doing the same thing.
would you want me
a
to, like,
discount for Litchfield, so if you have, if whatever you're charging,
okay,
Litchfield residents where they're really paying for the fields is maybe give them a lower rate than you would somebody from outside town.
okay, sure.
Just something so that it's a benefit to the Litchfield residents.
Okay, yeah. And it's not even like much either, it's just,
We're not talking about a lot.
Okay.
We're not looking for some grand thing
Yeah.
out there.
because I was curious when I first came here, I didn't know if there was like a field usage fee, and you guys said that there wasn't.
Well,
We've-
I'm
We've
just
avoided
curious.
doing that.
I feel bad to impose this now on. What have we done for Debbie Rice?
I think we asked the same thing. We asked her to do a discount for Litchfield residents, and we asked if there was profit being made that she would look back to coming towards us. Now, the number of people going with her has been pretty limited from what I've seen.
I think so, but we don't have any sort of criteria.
No.
We don't have anything
Sure.
written in stone here. Now, maybe we should, if we have these
Possibly.
organizations that are popping up, and there are these CrossFit ideas that are coming out everywhere.
I mean, there's a benefit to the town for having it. I mean, you grew up in the town playing
Yeah.
sports and so forth, so I get that.
Right.
So we're encouraging it. We're not saying we don't want something like
No,
that.
and I would love to.
But now that we have two, I mean, maybe we do start saying, okay, this is something that we want to see the community use, and that we do sit there and make some guidelines saying, okay, is it a 10% discount for Litchfield residents? I mean, this is open to individuals outside of Litchfield?
Yeah, I mean, mostly everyone I know is going to be from Litchfield.
From Litchfield,
yeah.
okay.
Unless it's someone from like Hudson that I know, or
Yeah, you have 50 to 99% Litchfield residents. But we don't have, I guess my thing is, we can say, yep, Chris, go for it. We just don't have anything that we know that these individuals are getting a discount, nor do we know if Debbie has given discounts.
Correct.
We don't have anything written down.
And I mean, and like we said, it doesn't have to be that. It can be, one thing that just popped in my head is if you said, I'm going to do this, but I'd like to, for the Litchfield basketball or another organization, say, you know what, I'd like to run 2 sessions and teach the kids how to,
yeah,
hey, this is what you should be doing to get yourself in shape, or, just show them some basic exercise techniques, and just something that gives back to the community and the recreation in the community.
yeah. And actually, Mr. Ballou from Campbell helped me fill out that, because it's like an official LLC. I had to do all that, but he was saying that he can get me in touch. I know Chip, and I know Chip does a lot for the sports teams, and if I was to do stuff for the high school, I don't know if that's in relation to what you just said.
Yeah.
So doing like preseason thing, for this.
Or maybe the middle school, like where Chip does the high school, maybe get the kids in the middle school and sort of
Yeah.
get them
That would be-
started early.
Yeah, I would love to do that
Um,
for basketball or anything
Yeah.
really. In the winter, especially like doing stuff in the gyms,
mhm.
I would love to do that.
All the people involved in the organization's town are all nodding their heads. Yes, that's what we're talking about, that kind of thing. And again, it's really hard to come up with a policy. It really has more to do with the individual coming in saying, hey, this is what I can do, and then we kind of let it go at that point.
Sure.
So far, we haven't had anybody abusing our
No, I mean,
facilities, which is great.
there's only one that I'm aware of.
Right.
And
Right, we've had others come in, but nothing's really panned out of
Right,
that.
right.
Right.
I'd be very open to having Chris come and train the basketball.
And that's another thing is like for art, if someone presented me with an idea, I want to do what you guys want. Like I could come and present something, but if you guys have something in mind that you think I can come and help, then
Well,
I
if
think
winter's going to be your available time, we've got a board member for basketball, we've got a middle school basketball coach here. I'm not on the basketball board anymore.
Yeah.
We're ex-basketball presidents. That organization could really use help in fitness and
yeah,
conditioning,
I would love to do
without a
that.
doubt.
I think that would be really cool.
That would be great.
Yeah,
We already approved this, right?
I don't believe we have no minutes from any meetings, so I have no idea
That's good.
what's been approved, what
We
hasn't,
just have that little tape thing. Great.
to go back.
Um,
I don't know, so he's looking for, if I recall correctly, we had said that Sawmill was not an issue because he could move off to some
Yeah,
designated
that's
area
right,
and do workouts over there without affecting any playing surface. So, I can't recall, do you recall if it was approved?
I wasn't at that meeting.
all right. Well,
I don't remember watching any meeting where it was approved.
there we
So.
go. Let's make a motion. then.
My only question is, and this is going back to the last meeting, is age groups involved with, in that case, now are you talking about background checks? Are you talking about getting approved background checks?
I think this would fall into that statute. I think that there is a form, we talked about it at the last meeting,
Okay.
and it's under the guise of the drinking water.
Water Department for the state of New Hampshire.
Basically, anybody that's going to run camps, skills clinics, things of that nature, need to fill out this form with the state, and it's a $25 fee,
Okay.
and you're registered for the year. But basically, it's acknowledging that you are doing criminal background checks on anybody that is going to be dealing with youth.
Oh, so background check on me.
Right.
Oh, that's
Right.
That's basically what it would be.
And, you know, it would just, in that way, and if you're gonna be doing this in different towns, you fill out that one form and you just say locations. So if you're gonna be doing it here in Hudson, in Nashua, whatever, you just do that one thing and then you're on the state list.
Okay.
So if you go to Hudson, say, I'd like to run this program, they can look on the list and say, okay, you're filed with the state, so you're good for the year, and they can let you run camps and clinics there as well.
Yeah, because my uncle coaches for Bedford, and also I know Andrew Conrad from Alvern, who he's the PE coach, and he's already said, dude, it'd be cool for you to come and do stuff here too.
Yeah.
So that would be.
Yeah.
Sure. And also, on the form it said, because I had to renew my liability insurance and certificate holder. You guys asked to put Town of Litchfield down for that, so I already did that.
All right, great.
I'm looking up the background check email. I'll send you a copy of the link that we have, because I think
Okay.
we sent one out to everybody on that. And keep it moving.
It's an underscore.
What's that?
It's like an
Underscore?
underscore,
Okay.
not a hyphen.
Oh,
CM,
Chris
that's what I
Marr,
was
okay,
gonna find,
CM, all right,
Yeah.
I can read it now.
Okay.
I get it. When I find that, I'll zip that off to you,
Okay,
so you'll be
sweet.
able to fill that out.
Sure.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve Chris for utilizing from Monday through Friday, from 4 to 6 PM, from June 1st to August 29th, the use of Sawmill Brook, where fields are available, either the fields or the side, and subject to Chris's understanding that we're just looking for a little give back to the town.
Sure.
And the listing with the state.
Do I have a second? What was it?
And
And the listing with the state.
And the listing with the state, thank you, yes.
It came
I'll
out
have
on May 11th.
Hmm?
The email is from May 11th, if you're looking for Andy's email
Oh,
with the
you've got
form.
it?
Well, I'll
I
get
can
the
just send
form.
it,
Okay.
sure.
Do I have a second on the motion?
A second?
I got a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
500. You're all set, Chris.
Sweet, thank you. Do you want, I know I made a photocopy of that, so if
Nope, you can, let me just grab your email address, 1 second.
Sure.
Great.
If you have a photocopy, could you, because I can't find your email, so can we keep this one?
Yeah, she made a copy at the front desk
Okay.
like 2
Does
weeks
anyone-
ago,
I
but
can't find, do you know when so you dropped it off or you emailed it to us?
I came here with the original. She
Okay.
made a copy.
Okay,
I'll make a copy for you if you want.
great, thank you. Thank you.
Did anybody check, did we check the mailbox? Oh, okay. That might,
Keith usually does.
I know.
I think we're all set, Chris.
Sweet.
Sounds
Thank you.
good. He'll give you copies
And I'll
and
send you the
link.
the form.
Sure. And then you said you'll send me what you were talking about for the state.
That's what she's doing.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
She got it faster than I could get it in my phone. She already pulled it up, so.
Good luck with everything.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is just some notes I made for my proposals.
Thank you.
So this is a proposed summer basketball league. Says here, eligible players entering grades 7 to 12, fall of 2016, 4 teams of 10 players. Must have one middle school player on the floor at all times. Games held at Talent Hall, Sundays and Tuesdays. Inside Talent Hall then, okay. Would like to end before fall high school sports starts, 6:30 and 7:30, 2 20-minute halves, stop time on all free throws in the last 2 minutes of each half. Volunteer coaches will have to pass a background check, 1 adult ref, $25 a game. Players will sign a waiver, fee $40, t-shirts with numbers will be given out to each team, $1,600 in fees, $450 for refs, $400 for shirts, balance $750 would like to use to purchase boys middle school team new uniforms. And you, Jason Cohen, would be the point of contact.
Yes.
Now, Andy brought this up at our last meeting, and this is what I thought he said, and maybe I misunderstood. this was brought to the basketball board, but it was denied.
Wow.
And it was my understanding, I thought you said because it didn't include,
They felt it was not
Players
in their
that were-
age group. They felt
but this is their age group.
they don't have a program for anybody past 8th grade.
But this is seventh.
Right, but it's 7 through 12.
Right, but that doesn't include seventh.
I never actually presented it to them.
Right.
I didn't have a chance. I just,
I did.
yeah, it's Andy and I believe Mike did a little bit. I didn't actually go and do it yet, but it sounded like you guys might be the avenue for me to do this.
Well, I'm not, I'm just curious to know why it's only open to boys.
I think it was also
And-
the boys thing.
Okay, so I'll address that.
Well, boys and the age group.
Right.
This
Those-
does fit,
that
I
was a
mean,
combo.
seventh grade is technically your basketball, middle school basketball, seventh and eighth grade.
Well, as you know, I am the middle school basketball coach, so selfishly, I want my boys playing and the boys in the high school. I would not be opposed to girls playing. If any girl wanted to play, I certainly would accept her. It's just, like I said,
As a co-ed,
if we had enough girls and we could make it co-ed, I would not be opposed to that. I just want the kids to play. And
I agree,
I don't
Jason.
care. I don't care who it is.
I agree. And I'm just curious to know why basketball, when there's two age groups that fall under basketball, travel and rec, why this is not being considered by basketball? Why is it coming to the rec commission? And why is this not falling under whatever?
If I had an answer for you, I would give it to you.
But you said it was denied. So I'm just, what was the reason for it being denied?
I'm really still confused as to why.
it's a new board, it's a new president. I had a nice conversation with him yesterday. I did not talk about this, there were so many other things we discussed.
I'm just wondering, could it have been denied because it is singling out only boys and not girls?
It might.
That was part of the conversation, yes. And the age group was the other part of the conversation. They felt that they did not want to be dealing with, or not, you shouldn't say dealing with, that it was going past the age group that they currently have.
It was out of the scope of focus,
Yeah.
per se. It was realistically a majority of boys, and it was gonna end up being, the feeling was it was gonna be a majority of high schoolers, as opposed to 7 and 8. And I'm not really sure, and honestly, it was proposed in my last meeting, or I ran the idea out there at the last meeting. I don't know what happened after that, the discussion since that point. But the initial feed, really at that meeting, the initial pushback was, well, why are we only offering it for boys? That was it. And, you know what I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where, as the kids get, if you're looking at a bigger mix of kids, you're also looking at, as the boys get older, the girls really, a lot of them don't want to mix it up.
Agreed.
So-
And
I
that's,
get that,
that's
yep.
one of my concerns is if I have, a Harrison Verdrani going up against one of your daughters,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to be an issue.
I get
yeah.
that, I do, I totally understand that, and I'm just wondering, it's unfortunate that the league itself isn't trying to promote something like this for both boys and girls.
I would not be opposed to it. I just don't have the time to do both. And selfishly, I obviously want to focus on the kids I'm going to coach. And I just really want them playing. My hope would be that someone on the girls' side, be it Coach DeCinto or Coach Allen or somebody on the girls' side, could step up and do the same thing. Maybe they take my model and run with it.
Maybe they will.
Like I said, though, if I had a girl who really wanted to play, I'd be okay with it. We've had girls play in the 7th, 8th grade boys basketball league when
Yep.
there wasn't a girl spot available.
Right.
If someone felt that they wanted to play, they could, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. I just want the kids playing. I think
Agreed.
I think there's a big need for the kids.
Program definitely needs more playing time.
Too many kids put down the ball in February and they don't pick it back up till November.
Correct.
And when I was a kid, we knew where all the outdoor playgrounds were, and me and my buddies drove to. I grew up in Mass, but we drove to Bedford, Burlington, Billerica, and we found games.
Yep.
They don't do it now. You might get lucky if you get a couple kids shooting around playing 1-on-1, 2-on-2, but there's nothing organized. So it's basically, I went back and watched your tape a little bit, and some of the questions were like no practices. Like John was on to what I wanted. Just we're going to roll the ball out and let them play. and it's going to be basically organized pickup with a referee to keep it safe. You know, so kids aren't rifling elbows at each other, or you know, you get one kid pushing another kid. We'll have someone there to control it.
Right, because that did evolve into, okay, does this fall under this needing a background check? And we had said yes.
Right.
I would think any coach that signed up, you know, my hope is, you know, maybe Andy signs up, Jason Brennan, the other Jason,
Canal.
Canali, some of the coaches. I'd reach out to the coaches who are currently in town with kids in this age group and hope to get 4 guys or girls, 4 men or women who have coached, and ask them to, you know, step up and take a team.
Yep.
So,
But then that falls under this, filling out this form.
Right.
right, if they haven't already.
No,
Oh,
not
it's a
them.
completely different one?
This
The
is a
state
whole
form,
other,
the-
and this is,
okay.
it's on our actually agenda items, because I think we're putting the cart before the horse anyhow with this form that hasn't even, as far as I know, been looked at by council yet.
Right, but I'd rather
So-
have it be done and not have to have it done, and then instead of having groups start and then go back and say, oh no, we need to get this done. It's $25. They file with the state.
I think we
It
need
is
to,
a state
I think we need to get it figured out, because they've already changed it once. They've changed the guidelines already.
But like
and
I
dropped
said,
it
like
down.
I said last meeting, they set the law up without actually having
Exact-
any.
But the way it's written right
controlling it.
now is we're not supposed to let somebody use the facility for a camp or a skills clinic unless they're on that list.
Right.
And that list consists of like 6,
Well, there'll be more
things.
and more. There were like a couple hundred last year.
And again, doesn't, because others aren't doing it,
no,
doesn't
we're
make
all
it
doing
where
it.
we
Every
shouldn't.
organization is doing it. I think this is just a fee capturing form, in my mind. All organizations are already paying for background checks. So now they're going to have to pay another $25 to put this list out there saying that you can't even confirm, in fact, as you said, that they are in fact doing background checks. This form just says, yeah, supposedly we're doing background checks.
Yep.
So I think it's kind of.
But again, until
Foolish,
we
but-
get something back from town council on
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Here we're putting the cup, we're saying, okay, everybody fill this form out, and we don't even know, legal hasn't even got back to us. Troy Brown hasn't even, has he looked at it?
I don't know.
Well, that's
I
our,
think Keith was working on that one, right?
no, I don't know. I
Oh,
don't know.
really?
Once again,
All right,
have
I'm not
nothing.
sure.
so that's what I'm saying. We're asking individuals to go forward, fill these out, get this out there, when we haven't even done the due diligence of having our legal counsel look at it.
Okay, well, I will tell you, I know at Pinkerton what they do.
Right.
And they've had their council look at it, and that is the rule of the land there. And it basically came down to us over there. This is the law. If we're gonna run a summer camp here or a skills clinic, that camp, whoever's running that camp has to fill this form out, has to be on file.
And it should be a simple answer by council here.
I don't even know if the question was asked.
I don't either. So,
Can you transfer it back? Like, can I transfer my background check from the middle school over, or no?
It's
It's a
the
separate
way
one?
the way it is you're gonna fill out a form saying, we are doing background checks.
No, okay.
Or everybody that in this organization has a background check and it has to meet certain criteria that are on the form. You don't have to, your organization doesn't have to run the background check. Like if Mike wants to come and coach for you and Mike says, I had a background check through lacrosse, I'm giving you permission to contact them to get my okay, you can transfer it over, that's covered.
Okay.
You don't actually have to run another background check on it.
Just as you had the school background check done on you, blah, blah,
I
blah.
got fingerprinted.
And I understand the objection is the form itself
Right.
is
doesn't say, we did a background check on everybody. It says, yes, we are going
pay
to
us
do.
$25 to post this up on a website that says you did a background check,
No.
which,
But that's.
I'll take $25 out of my fee to do it.
but as he
That's
said,
fine.
I mean, but as Andy said, there's no way to confirm that background checks have even been done.
No,
So,
there's a different question here with Jason, because now he's coming to apply to us to sponsor the program. So it's like he doesn't really have an organization. He's
No.
coming in saying we're the organization for him. Therefore, does it now mean that we have to file saying that everyone under us is doing background
Well,
checks?
we need
You-
To
counsel.
file for $25.
We
The,
need-
the policy says anybody who's under the rec commission that deals with children, I guess, at this point, needs to have a background check.
Right.
Now, it's defaulted because most of the leagues were taking care of it, So nothing ever came out of the rec, but if you're gonna sponsor his program, then the rec has to get the background check on him before you approve it. That's how I read it. I'm not sure what you're talking about with Troy and what Troy's looking at and all that stuff.
There's a, have you seen this form yet?
Was it the one Annie sent out a while
Yes.
back?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
It changed. It just changed.
Doesn't matter, town policy says what town policy says.
Right,
No,
but
no,
this is
but
what's
what the
filing with the
requirements for
state.
the state has changed.
Okay.
They just changed it. And unless you read the website, you wouldn't know that.
And you're expecting a response back from town council? Because I've not heard town council been engaged at all about this.
I don't remember if it was Keith or I that was supposed to contact Troy. I thought it was Keith, but
I don't know. But that was on, I definitely remember that before we adjourned the meeting, it was okay, we would have council look at this and tell us what we should do.
Can you just forward the email to me and I'll
Yep.
follow up with Troy tomorrow? Because I haven't heard it in Troy's workflow that he's doing anything about rec.
Okay.
So if you give it to me, I'll get in touch with him tomorrow. I know he's out Friday, I think. He's around tomorrow, so I'll talk to him tomorrow.
as a rec commission, do we want to support this? Do we want to support a program going that's not affiliated with one of the organizations in town?
So they won't even, so this is completely separate from basketball.
Well, here, I guess I have a question, because this kind of came up. Is adult men's basketball under the LRBL?
Yes, it
or
is.
under
Let's
the
go
right?
rec commission.
So it's basically the same
But it
thing.
falls under the guides of LRBL.
No. Litchfield Recreation Committee approved the men's basketball league many years ago. Litchfield Recreation Commission then took that over from the committee, and then over the years, that's where it sits under the Recreation Commission. There are some guidelines they're supposed to follow. The players are supposed to sign waivers annually, and one person is supposed to be in charge to what's going on. And there's been two people pretty much over the years that have been the people in charge down there. Whether they're, well, just like anything else, whether somebody's getting a waiver signed or not, we don't have any process of following up with that. But they are listed under the Recreation Commission's insurance.
Right, I do know.
No, I would make sure that every player had a waiver, because ideally, I'd like to get the sheets to the kids before school gets out, so they put this on their calendars and they're ready for it and get signed up, and then form teams, and then we can have them, I bring the waiver to you guys for approval ahead of time, so that way it's falls under what you would need.
There's some good ones out there, all the leagues
Yeah.
have created them.
I mean, do we have the option of saying to basketball, this falls under your purview? I mean, we don't want to create a million different things. I mean, we have a basketball organization that's part of the rec commission. I mean, it's not like we can't do it with softball. You guys aren't part of the rec commission, but this is basketball. This is one of our, and just say, hey, yeah, this is exactly what they're there to do.
Okay. We can certainly try and do that. That would be a first.
Is that necessary? I mean,
Well, I mean, just as far as the
that's gonna
logistics, as
require
far
you
as
going to meetings and all kinds of other things with the basketball commission or the basketball.
I guess so.
I honestly would prefer just to come here.
I think from the hard side, if I was sitting in that seat, I would approve it just from the standpoint if somebody's looking to volunteer to do something in basketball, we approved everything. That was just, if somebody's looking to do it, girls, boys, whatever, we approved it. That's how the instructional got going. It got taken on and handled really well. That's why we had an instructional program going here. Nobody wanted to do a kindergarten program, so we never got a kindergarten program. But something like this, but again, this isn't a basketball meeting. It's not going to them because right now, from what I understand from you, somebody there or a group aren't ready to support it.
Right, and they don't meet again until August.
Well, that would be
Right.
bad.
Well,
That'd be a
that's-
bad plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering it,
Yeah.
it ends in August.
I mean, I
No,
just
you're
looking-
volunteering, Jason.
I'm
I mean,
looking-
we shouldn't be turning down. I was just curious to know why it was why it wasn't being considered by
Yeah.
the basketball league. I mean, obviously, you're putting yourself out there to do this, which I think it needs to be done. I'm very happy that it's happening for the boys. Wish it was happening for the girls. But I'm
Like I
I'm
said,
not
I mean,
opposed to
like I
it.
said, if we have some girls that want to play, we'll find a way.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I understand.
I mean, if
the
it turns
size
if it
difference,
turns
too.
into 60 players, even better, and then we go 6, 7, 8.
Right.
You know, this is just the basic guidelines because I know you guys kind of talked about, well, bring something, so I'm bringing something. You know, and I'm flexible enough to say, okay, you know, all of a sudden if we have 8 girls, okay, 2 per team, and yes, you have to have a middle school player and a girl, and it can't be a middle school girl player. It's got to still be a boy middle schooler, a girl, and you know, and I'll be there to administer. And I talked to Coach Led at the high school. He's fully on board. He wants to come and give his support as well.
Now, the one thing I know, I mean, I think the dates work out for you, but I know if he's going to be involved, the NHIA rules are he can't do anything until the last day of the spring sports.
The NHIA rules is that he can't take a team. He can't put the Campbell High School team in a league and coach them. He can certainly come and observe and watch.
Oh yeah, he can observe. Yeah,
but he can't. If the rules are, you can't take a team. You can't take one of your teams at the high school, put them in a league in off season with more than 75%, I believe. I think
right, but I mean, there's different off seasons. There's an off season. There's off season, and there's off season during another season, and it's the restrictions are really strong until the last day of the last baseball game, lacrosse game, whatever it is in the spring, and the first day of tryouts for the fall sports. It's
well, all the high school teams play in the summer league, or play in all kinds of summer leagues. They actually play as teams, but they have to be in organized summer leagues.
Without the coach.
with the
A lot of
coach.
times they're coaches.
Like we do it at Pinkerton, and
Because I ref the Hudson one, and
the
it's
last
usually
day, the
JV
last
coach.
game is supposed to be August 12th. That's the first day of football tryouts, so we've already contacted the sports zone saying we can't play that day because football starts that day. We're no longer
Oh, you're talking after school in that month and a half window.
right. So that's when it's wide
That's
open.
why I kind of did the rough math and estimated that.
Yeah,
the
so I was
start
going
would
to
be
say
the
this fits
15th.
into that nicely.
Yeah, well, that's I looked at that. I try to avoid 4th of July, and I wanted to end. That's why I said I'd like to end before fall high school starts. So I see what you're saying. They can't be, but this, you know, basically I'm looking for the kids who aren't playing AAU. You know, the kids who are basically your core bench players, and you know, you got the kids who are basketball players. But I want the athletes who want to play basketball and put the ball in their hands, let them play, and you know, and basically just keep them playing. And you know, the kid maybe who's say on the fence about playing, he comes and plays in this, gains some confidence, and all of a sudden he becomes a player. You know, that's the target audience I'm looking for. I'm looking for, you know, in 7th to 12th. Like I don't know how many juniors and seniors are going to play. I think it's going to be more. I honestly think it's going to be more 7th to probably like 10th grade. You know, your JV and your middle school players are going to be the ones that are going to be. We're going to attract. That's just my opinion, but you know, between I had 19 players alone, you know, and not even counting the ones we cut, and then the JV team, you figure there's another 14 right there. I mean, that's almost 40 between those kids without even going beyond that.
There was a large crowd that got cut too from the high school.
Right. So that maybe one of those kids that got cut all of a sudden, you know, went from being 5'6" to 6'1", and you know, he's got some skill and wants to play, and all of a sudden this propels him. Hey, you know, I can hang with these kids, and he pushes back, and instead of just going away and never playing again, maybe this kid comes back into the fold, and now we have a player. So that's who we're going after. I mean, you know, we all know very rarely the kid who is the superstar in 7th, 8th grade is necessarily the superstar at 12. You know, sometimes a kid who's 5'6" comes back and he's 6'2". You know, and the kid who's 6'1" now just never develops because he thinks, oh, I'm 6'1", I can, you know, all these kids, all of a sudden all the other kids pass him and catch up to him. You know, so I just, you know, I really enjoyed coaching last year, and I want to kind of extend the program and, you know, start really making Litchfield known for basketball. We have a lot of good athletes, and we got to get them playing.
Mm-hmm.
So do you advertising this anywhere? Do you want to put it anywhere?
Oh yeah, like I said, I'd like to, you know, I'll put it on all the Litchfield What's Up, and you know, put it on the mom's page, and we'll put it on. I will send a flyer home.
Put it on the
The
Facebook
Litchfield
page.
Rec, yeah.
Yep.
I was
Do you
hoping
have
that.
a registration form or anything?
Well,
like
that's what
that?
I kind of wanted to see how you guys felt about it. But yeah, obviously I'll develop a registration form. I'll fill out the usage. Whatever you guys need, we'll take care of.
Well, I mean, the usage thing is, if you're part of us, it's a lot less formal.
Okay.
I haven't even looked at the calendar. I mean, I don't think it's really occupied.
No,
During
and
June,
they,
July,
and they really
August.
peel back in the summertime.
What's
I
that?
figure I can borrow Mike's expertise on waivers with the soccer. Or steal one of those from somebody.
You wanna make a motion or you?
Sure, I'll make a motion. I make a motion to accept Jason Combs' request for a summer basketball league, a boys' summer basketball, well,
Some
Sorry,
basketball.
Summer basketball. That's why I said summer basketball league.
basketball
I
league.
didn't actually put boys on here.
being held at Town Hall Sundays and Tuesdays through the months of July and August. Year times.
No, just, just in general.
Is that sufficient? Anyone second?
I'll second that.
Any questions? Open for discussion.
And, I mean, what I'll do is, I'll work with you and we'll fill the form out.
Okay.
And find a way to register with the state, so it just shows up
Yeah.
on the state list that this group, even though it's not an organization, but a subgroup of the rec commission, we can just give it a name and that'll show up on the state list.
Okay.
If in the interim basketball wants to go along with it, I'll try to encourage that as well.
Okay.
My only question I had is it is permissible for me to take the profit and use that for the middle school? That's okay with you guys?
Oh, so you would take,
We're in-
okay, the remaining balance would go to middle school.
And my idea is, I mean, obviously, if we get enough money, to replace them all, with it, I think both sets of uniforms are in desperate need. So
And I'm actually in the middle school with you. I don't even know how they purchase uniforms. How is there a fee or a fund in the school that allocates?
No, the last time they purchased uniforms, I think it was O'Donnell did a fundraiser to get the money to do it.
well, that's my idea. Is I'd like to do that, and then maybe we do the boys this year, and then next year, if this is successful, we do the girls. So and then we keep alternating, and every so many years, if we buy, say this year we just buy jerseys and the shorts are okay, that they're passable, but then we can get shorts and socks or whatever in the future. But that's something I'd like the profits to go back to both middle school basketball teams.
Should we amend the,
Sure.
Well, it's not really part of the motion, is it? Or do we need it to be?
well,
I just wanted to make sure that was okay, that I'm taking the profits and
yeah,
that's-
Well, it's
I think
technically
we
not
all
for
missed
profit.
that part. I don't know if it's, is it a problem? I don't see it being a problem, but is
No.
it something that should be in the motion? No?
It's part of his write-up
Okay.
going
Right.
across.
Okay.
All in favor of the motion? Say aye.
Aye.
500. You're all set?
Thank you, and I'll get the form back to you as soon as I can, so we can get out to the kids, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sounds good. Thanks.
I found that email, I already forwarded it to
Okay.
Troy.
All right. We have a Play the Camp softball camp. Do you want to talk to this one?
Well, that was the one that I emailed everybody today, 'cause,
Yeah, it went actually to Andy.
right.
Oh,
Yeah, it didn't come to me.
Well, that came in, he
I
emailed me
assume-
today
No.
saying, he'd sent that in a month or so ago and he hadn't heard anything,
Who did he send it to? Just the town?
the town.
So it was in our
But I think
mailbox, but we never,
Right, it probably arrived. We usually get an email, like when those are
We
dropped
usually
off.
do from
So she
from
scans it and,
Donna.
yeah.
yeah.
So I don't remember seeing that, but
Yeah, I haven't seen it. The first I saw it was in your email. I did look at it, and my only thoughts around this one I noticed was that this is not all Litchfield residents, and once again, it is for profit because it is for play the game. So, my question to Mark, and obviously he's not here, was he going to come or?
he was gonna try and make it and he couldn't make it. He was gonna send Brittany and she couldn't make it because she was working.
Do you know if, I remember seeing them last year, and I don't even know if they even used Dara Fields, but I know this is for a corporation, and do they foresee giving any, as you just mentioned to Chris, anything back to the rec commission or offset the cost for Litchfield residents?
I thought this was through softball.
No,
How interesting.
it's through Play the Game, which is softball, and Brittany McNullah played softball, but
Right.
well
In his email today,
well
he
before
basically
me.
told me that a majority, if not all, of the girls are from the Litchfield area. I mean,
Yeah, the
we
only-
can talk to them and say, you know, we'd like to see a structure where Litchfield residents get a discounted rate for the camp. I mean, just, so there's, again, a benefit to kids in town.
Agreed, and we do have, I don't know, I'm not sure if soccer does anything, or we have these fields that are being requested more and more by outside organizations,
Right.
and getting back to, again, a policy. I mean, I don't know how to necessarily track it or make sure that they do give something back either to the residents, some sort of
Right.
offsetting.
It's definitely one of those things where we always, I mean, if for soccer anyway, we always, and even the couple years we did for lacrosse, we always tried to have any camps that were coming in, anyone who's coming in was coming through us, and we'd request it, we'd sponsor them, because then we could work with them instead of, you know, I mean, it's more of a, you don't want to burden the rec commission all the time saying, okay, you figure out what you want from them and figure out this. It was one of those things where you'd work with them at either a pricing structure or a give back or something where, I mean, your sponsorship was allowing them to use the fields.
Yeah.
So, I mean, realistically, I don't know why it's starting to get away from that, because I know Challenger tried to do that at one point, and we were like, no, you got to come through us. And they have been since that very first one. And then, but like in this case, why aren't they going to softball and saying?
I don't know, I don't know.
Asking
He had Andy's
softball.
contact info, he hasn't even approached softball.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
Who's running softball now?
Rick. my
Rick
husband,
is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So why don't we set this up that we
He
need
goes
them,
through Rick.
we need them to contact Rick and try to work this out with them
okay.
and let softball.
Agreed, and I
Now,
definitely
what are the
think
dates that he's looking for, though?
he's looking for 4 days, June 27th through June 30th, 8 so camp,
Right.
so so
I did let him know about the
form,
form,
Okay.
so I emailed him that.
so 8 to 12, so 4 hours, Monday through Thursday. And I don't know, I remember seeing a camp offering last year by Play the Game, only because I received something through either mail to us or something like that. And I don't even know if they played at Dara, but I never recall approving anything.
They did. And I was down there, I think, the last day of their camp. It was the previous owner, it wasn't before Mark had
Okay.
taken over. And I mentioned to him, I said, next year, if you want to do this,
Well, there you go.
you need to come and talk
I was
to
gonna say, I
us.
don't recall it getting anything to
Yeah.
approve, okay.
Well, again, nobody's monitoring our fields either. Somebody walks out in our field
No,
and
there
starts doing
isn't, but I
something.
think it's one thing to play a pickup game, but I think a for-profit organization that's running a camp
Right, and advertising.
and advertising
yeah.
Yeah.
should receive some sort of approval
I agree.
before field usage. Okay, so I'll have him talk to Rick and see if there's any sort of, I definitely think, and it's starting more and more, and only because there's a lot of Litchfield girls that are going ASA, and I wish Keith was here, because there's a lot of ASA companies or organizations that are seeking field usage and are charging these families a hefty price to
Well, I mean,
be with the program, just like much like soccer,
Oh, yeah.
and they all want field space. So I think they need to start considering either. I'm not saying that they have to give it back to Blast or LGSL for that matter, but back to the rec commission.
The lockup of Talon Hall was actually a concern because we had AAU basketball coaches that got access to Talon Hall with 1 or 2 Litchfield players, and they got access because they knew a father, they knew something else. They were actually using the middle school at one point, telling the middle school that basketball approved them. When I was running basketball, like, whoa, stop
Gets
right
a little-
there.
yeah, it gets a
so
little-
that we pushed back, and they bailed. They went to other places, Derry Sports Zone. They started paying for their venues, but they were getting free gym space for
And
a
that's,
while.
I mean, I don't want to, if we have the fields, But it did cost, the rec commission gave generously to baseball and softball. Softball, I know, put in a lot of money this year for those fields. They look beautiful. And to have other organizations come in and use those, they should give back something.
Right.
Let's put it this way: it's a cost for everyone to maintain the fields. The more
Right.
they use, the more it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And to have a camp or camps run there for a week or whatever, that's just adding cost.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're coming here and just kind of sliding in because it's free, and all of a sudden the profit margin
Oh, yeah.
jumps a lot because everywhere else you got to pay.
Right.
So, yeah, something has to be returned.
Okay, so I will bring this to softball, see if they approve it, and also, if only half the girls, even though he said looks like it is going to be offered to outside communities.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see what they can do for Litchfield residents.
And same thing, give back, at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
Okay. All right.
That's an easy one.
Yep. That is easy. So that's
Fire away.
all right. So that was Okay, let me go back to today's. Oh, this is going to be a big one. The Litchfield Women's Guide. Have you looked at that?
The
Litchfield Women's Guide.
So
All
Sandy,
the information in town.
responded
Why don't we
back.
have
Yes,
a Litchfield
that's-
men's guide? We just
You
crash
should. You
the
should have a Litchfield
guys
Men's
from
Guide.
that.
Stop.
Yeah,
You guys don't even have a Litchfield Men's group. At least we have a women's group.
Listen,
that's means with guys.
Yeah.
You don't have groups.
You don't have groups.
Sandy said she would update and get that back. I know she started working on it, so.
Okay,
if
I
you wanna-
thought
if you wanna
her
send-
email said we would meet as a commission to discuss the updates.
Oh.
But maybe I misread it.
I think or maybe a personal discussion, misread it. I thought she said she was gonna get back to her, but asked the commission to send her information that
Okay.
was not on there.
Okay.
I know Keith sent a little blurb saying a couple things have changed and so forth.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
So
have
if
changed.
that's all it is, then we can all give her little blurbs. But
Right.
we don't have to write anything.
Yeah, just send her off the blurbs and
Okay.
we'll get together and send something back.
Okay. All right. So, because I noticed a few myself.
I mean, that goes back a long time ago, what they've written on there.
But yes, it does. I was surprised.
It's also a newcomer's guide, not a woman's guide. It's given to all new families.
Well, Litchfield Women's
Bam.
Club. Litchfield Women's Club sent us.
Turn the audio
Somebody-
down.
somebody's home from
If
work.
you're available, you should be here.
She just got home from work.
She just got home. All right.
So there we go.
Poison ivy at the tennis courts. Did that get addressed? Anyone talk to Brian? Who takes care of that? We got that email from Pete.
Right. I sent it to Kevin and
Kevin Lynch, okay.
Brian and who else did I copy? I think
Okay.
I copied us on it.
So you forwarded it
So
on.
Kevin, I guess was going to go down and take a look at it. He wanted to know which side of the fence it was on.
Okay.
So
All right, so that's
Why
been,
Why would Kevin be involved in it? It's your fields to maintain. When
right, but I don't know what the
Protocol is for
as
that.
far as spraying, because any chemicals we put down there to kill it, it's
Which adds a second question. We got an email about spraying around
Right,
the
that was from
basketball
me.
courts. Oh, that was from you.
okay.
So-
I think we have to contact the selectmen to do something like that, right? We can't approve that.
Can't approve what?
Any
Maintain.
spraying of, for mosquitoes or anything like that.
Why send it to
Mosquito
Ben?
come out of mosquito control district anyway. There's already a program for that stuff. So
right. But they basketball is gonna. They want to run a youth skills thing on the courts down by Dara, and they had asked, hey, can we just bring a fogger? And I'm like, no, you can't do that. We need to. I'll talk to the rec commission, see if it's okay for you guys to contact the mosquito control district, see if there's something you can do down there to be preventative instead of covering the kids with DEET before every skills clinic. Because
okay. I think well, I won't speak for the mosquito control district, but they'll say personal protection is the best at all times. So cover up with DEET.
okay.
But that, I've heard him say it 1,000 times. I just don't, because I know there's no budget for any outside of.
No, they basketball. They would say they would cover. They just want to know
it's more of an issue for Kevin, because it'd be a health issue.
Right.
It's not part of the mosquito control district's venue to take care of your fields. If you wanna fog it for an event, I would get Kevin's buy-off on it, so.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I would just call Kevin, and I'll see him tomorrow, I'll mention both topics to him.
Okay.
Brian's in charge of around the fields as well as the fields, or no? Mowing, or is that?
The grass.
The
Yes.
grass.
Well, yeah, when
Like
you say
the
around the
stuff-
fields, what do you mean?
But I mean, like,
Up
so,
on the hill?
up and around the tennis courts, in front of the tennis courts, or no, is that the town?
Well,
No, that's not.
he,
The grass area in front of the tennis courts
yes.
was maintained by the maintenance company. That section to the left that's growing up again,
Right.
the town's always taking care of that for
Okay.
us.
Yeah,
Kevin-
we can
Kevin's
get, we can
not
get the
that
town to go cut that down, that's not.
Yeah.
We have,
It
we have
started
some, we
growing
have some
again.
area, well, even on the outside, and I don't know if it was because he got there last minute, Sawmill, the outskirts of Sawmill are long. They weren't cut with the rest of Sawmill. So that's why I I didn't know
Oh,
how far.
the hills and so forth
the-
around?
Anything outside the wooden fence.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, not just the hills, but just right around the wood fence wasn't done.
Have you-
Inside was
Have you
done.
been in contact with him at all?
Not about that, no.
Again, I use you and Keith and Kevin.
Yeah,
and I haven't-
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Just say.
Yeah, you mean, that's why I wasn't sure where his purview ended and where the town's.
It says pretty much the areas
Yeah.
that have been set up with grass. That's pretty much how it reads.
Yeah.
Because that whole wooded area at Sawmill, we try to
Yeah,
delete that out.
Yeah.
Future dog park, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this one we went over, but we don't have an update. Looking for an update from general counsel on the form, the state
Oh.
form.
So
We don't have that.
Yeah,
John said he'd
that's
work
already
on
sent
that.
over to Troy, so.
Let's see. Tara from Flag Football. I don't believe there's an issue, but I just wanted to. I don't believe anyone else got back to her. They are. Their application at first said no cost. She come to us saying there was not going to be a cost. Now they decided to charge $20 per person for a startup fee. She was just wondering from us, would there be any issue on our end?
No, it's just like any other organization.
Right, they just need to submit a budget and say, this is what, we're gonna charge this, this is our costs, what's being done with the additional money.
Okay.
Nothing complicated.
Right.
And the last item I had was, or at least on the list, are we going back to, I know we have another member now, so we do have more, but are we going back to one meeting starting in the summertime? June, July, and August? That's what we've done the past couple of years,
I'm
because
fine with that because
it gets
my
crazy.
availability
And it does get
disappears.
crazy.
There's not a
There
lot
isn't,
that
I
happens.
agree. So, one meeting,
So
we
we-
just have to decide, it's gonna be the first?
First Tuesday of
I mean,
June,
the second-
July, and August?
Well,
That
we
we
always
go
go
to-
the
Or
second,
second
the
Tuesday,
second-
first meeting,
Second Tuesday?
second
Tuesday.
Tuesday of June, July, and August.
Okay,
Hope the guy with the earphones heard that, because that impacts him, okay?
all right. Second Tuesday, so I don't.
Will you put that in the site?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be nice.
Can you also make sure Donna changes your schedule? Have Donna change the schedule on the
Okay.
town calendar too?
Okay.
That's how I find out about the meetings.
July, August. Have Donna change the schedule for the town?
Yeah.
You have anything?
I had one more thing,
Oh,
actually,
sorry.
but go ahead. if
No,
you-
go ahead.
Uh,
I can wait.
She was all prepped up with the computer.
I was ready to go. Ed, did his, this was, just made aware to me that Matt Bennett is no longer with, CHS?
He left a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I was like, okay, that was surprising, so, I didn't know, so everyone knows that? Okay. I have not reached out to the LMS athletic directors yet. I do want to reach out to them before the end of the year and request that they come to, hopefully, our next meeting, our first one in June, to discuss field usage going forward 2017. We had discussed it, the fact that baseball needs a place. Little League baseball.
What's
And-
what's the first day in June? What's the first date in June?
That's my calendar.
14, no,
7, yeah, 14th.
Is it the 14th?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, the 7th is awards night, so they wouldn't, I was
Okay.
just making, I didn't know if it was the
It may
8th
not- I
or
mean,
the 7th, but that's,
I'm not sure if they're both in town or if they're both somewhat local. I mean, even if it happens
One's Hollis.
once Hollis, okay. I mean, I don't know if they're, what their availability is, but I'd like to try to just get the discussions going.
honestly, you wanna do it now. Yeah, you wanna do it before the end of the year, because then,
They're gone.
honestly,
Yeah.
things get,
But I prefer not to do it. I was
Lost.
going to send an email, but I'd really prefer them to come in and have a discussion about it. The figuring out the field uses, figuring out how to transport kids, because of, obviously we want to send the girls up to Dara, utilize Dara, but that's going to be transportation, getting them.
I mean, we also need to figure out the fall for the soccer, and the whole, is the field gonna be lined,
Yeah. Yeah, we need, right, we need to,
all that good stuff.
I think we would need to request, and even if just at least, that they come to us, I mean, the beginning of school, and if it's either we wrap it up at the end of this year, or they come in August when school starts, and we start a discussion with field usage, and figure out right, what is their responsibility, what is our responsibility with these fields, and transportation to kids, and giving the boys a field to play on, and moving girls where they should be able to go up to Dara and play on an actual softball field. So it's up there. It's ready. They should use it and give the boys their playing area. So okay, I'm going to reach out to them. And that was it for me.
I just had a question for John on, I know we had talked about the Google accounts, so I didn't know where that stood, and
So all the accounts have been created. I just need to send emails. Who's the best person to actually send the emails to get all everybody turned on? If I have all their personal accounts, I can send them the introduction email, and they can log on their own without any real difficulty.
so.
Did I miss something? What are we discussing?
So Andy approached the town to basically create email accounts under the litchfieldrec.com domain, which we already have. That's how the RC works. So that instead of using all the generic Gmail accounts, you'd have a town secured account that would allow you to use the Google Apps features, which will be able to do online spreadsheets and documents and other functionality that you can do, like surveys and stuff like that.
But it also allows, with organizations, it allows the appointments.
Yeah.
So what I can actually do is set up the calendar for talent with an appointment calendar, so that Schedule 1 thing is gone.
Okay, yes.
Right.
So we can do the one-ups, and basically only registered accounts can actually access it
Okay.
and make reservations for talent for, hey, it's open from 8 to 9, I wanna have my practice there. So softball goes, oh, I'm gonna grab that hour, and as soon as they do it, it's gone. So nobody else can grab it, so, and they're in there, it's
And
instant.
not waiting for approval from you.
Right.
Okay. So the ones you set up were obviously all the leagues in town.
No, he's just setting us up,
Oh, he's
All the board members with
all the board members. Okay.
right? Then I can set, we've already set up
Their accounts.
Gmail
Right.
accounts for the leagues,
Right.
and I'll just make access to just them for that feature on the calendar.
Perfect.
So I think I have almost everybody's personal email addresses, so I can start forwarding your login credentials to those accounts. You can log in and onboard, and you're all set.
I think Mike would be very
Mike's the only one I didn't have, but I can do that. That's not a problem.
And then we should probably just switch all of our emails, everything we do for the board should go through that, that way it's all,
That would be the preferred, yeah.
no Hillary Clinton's stuff here.
So has Mike been added to the alias?
Probably not, seeing we only approved the,
got sworn in today at
You
like
got
2,
to-
so
okay.
yeah,
Probably-
yesterday, sorry. Give me a second, let me
You're
go do that
slacking,
right
John.
now.
You're slacking.
It's a little town, and we're supposed to take time on stuff like this?
Hang on a second, give me a second, I'll be done. Mike, I'll put your personal email in for now. and then
Okay.
I'll break that one.
Anything from you?
My question is, and I'm going to talk about Sawmill because that's what I'm most concerned about. But I don't know about Dara. I don't know about Innis off the top of my head. I don't know about Corning. Are there parts of the field or all the fields that we should shut down that need to be need to really recover? In years past, we've tried to do this with Innis. And at those times it was working directly with, and I think it was Brian. We rope off an area,
Right.
except that we rope off an area. I talked to him, and then like 2 weeks later, whoever was there for him had ripped everything up and wanted to mow through it, and then it never went back up again. But my question is like the field, one of the fields at Sawmill, at least half of it, if not all of it, is in rough shape in terms of like if you look at the field, there are like patches where there's grass, and then everything else around it is either matted down grass or just not growing or dirt. And ideally, and I offered this in the past to Rainmaker, to A&M, or whatever they were last year, of shutting down a portion of that field, roping it off so that it could really recover, so it could grow, so it could keep people off. Because that field is just used too much by too many random people. And it's good that it's used by people showing up just to play, but the problem is that they always use the same areas. They always show up and go wherever they want to go. And until you actually physically rope something off,
You gotta stake it and rope.
yeah, people aren't going to stay off it.
So your two organizations are the primary users of Sawmill.
Correct.
Rope some stuff off if it needs to be repaired.
Well, that's the thing. If I rope it off and then usually it's when the mowers come in, they pull it all up and then it's done.
Okay, you're on the
It
commission.
needs,
now.
it
You're on the
needs,
commission
yeah, I
now.
know, but it
To make
needs
you the
more.
contact with T.
I was going to say,
just
yeah,
work hand in
just,
hand with them.
just
Right.
give Mike
I can-
Brian's
Brian,
contact
call.
info.
Yeah, I mean,
Seriously.
I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind, but it's one of those things where that field, it looks bad right now, and it's gotten worse. And like, really, we're trying to, we're gonna be off it soon. And I'm talking to flag football, and I'm gonna give them the areas to where to use. But even then, like, usually we rotate around where we use fields 1 and 2 in the summer. And then in the spring, and then field 3 in the summer and the fall. And right now, I'm at the point of saying we aren't even going to use. We're going to use the field 2 in the summer because field 3 doesn't look like it's recovering enough, and probably try to use field 3 just in the fall this year. But the thing is now you're increasing usage with football. They're playing 2 pickup games Mondays and like 2 games a night Mondays and Wednesdays is the plan. So you're in the spot where it's going to be used more, and it's used more, and it's softball. You get to use the infield a lot more than using the outfield, so the grass isn't as worn, but it gets beat up. You know,
Oh, it
lacrosse
does,
beats
yeah.
it up, soccer beats it up. Lacrosse beats it up in the creases, soccer beats it up in the front of the net. It's just, and it's constant wear, and those areas just aren't recovering. So it's one of those things where I'd love to say, yeah, let's shut it down, and not use. You know, there's 3 full-size fields there. We shut one down. We're not going to kill usage of the entire park for a time. Just shut one down and not use it, and it becomes easier. So, yeah.
I don't think you heard an objection from us.
Yeah.
No Christ from us.
You live there.
Even when you weren't sitting here, we put that burden on you.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I worry about the way that thing's recovering right now. And its roots aren't great on that field. It's just, it hasn't come in.
I watch
It's thick.
Corning, she watches Dara, you've got Sawmill. That's how it works.
I know.
Andy's supposed to Brickyard.
There you go. Yeah, he should be babysitting Brickyard.
Looks fine from my house.
Yeah,
From
okay.
your house, it looks perfectly fine.
Brickyard.
And Jeff Lane just looks the
Oh.
same as he did 20 years ago.
What are we going to do with that? That's even on WhatsApp. What
That's
are we
on
going to do
that.
with that?
Way
Well,
down
that's-
the list.
So the rule is, and because it is being discussed on Litchfield WhatsApp apparently, that land, the 2 ball fields,
And the lot next to it.
and the lot
And
next to it,
across the street.
I realize we can take down the playground, but that area was designated or willed to the town. That homes cannot be built there. What is the only
It has
thing
to
that
be,
can be there?
it has to be used for recreational use. Same thing with Ennis.
Recreational
If
use
we
only.
wanted to build a school there, the land would no longer, like, once it's not for rec use, we lose the land. It goes back to the developer,
Okay.
right, or whoever. But I did talk to Kurt briefly about it.
Yeah.
The plan, he really wants to go forward with it. The plan is they're gonna be contacting the high school, a couple of different organizations, see if they can come up with a rendering of, you know, let's have a picture of what the field is going to look like. And then they want to go forward with a naming ceremony and say, we're gonna dedicate this field And that way we can have the picture of what the field is gonna look like with this, and then go out and really hit the ground running with fundraising and to try and make that field happen. Very similar to what they did in Hudson.
Is the idea to make it one field? Like one diamond?
The idea is to make it 2 diamonds, probably one 60-foot, one 45-foot, similar to what they have at Corning. So, and then probably move, at least the way I saw it, is move the playground across the street in between the 2 diamonds.
Oh, there's enough space there?
Yeah, well, because if you look at the way baseball diamonds go, I mean, there's gonna be that gap, right?
But
in the
I
middle.
always envision it being
Yeah.
outfield space, that would be the outfield.
Are they changing where the diamonds are facing?
No,
There's really not that much room between the diamonds.
right, but for a 45-foot, basically T-ball league,
Right.
it's gonna be much smaller. You only need about 100 feet.
Okay. I thought they were both pretty much T-ball fields as they are.
Right, but we have that lot next to it as well. To the right, there's a whole lot.
Right, so you'd clear
So you're
trees?
gonna
Yes.
clear through
Okay.
that, okay,
Right.
all right. So
Are you
what's
gonna
the,
knock the playground ground down and put parking in, or?
Yes.
okay,
Excellent.
is that something that they want to come to the rec commission for help?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, he's gonna, but, you know, I talked to him, I said, why don't you get a picture or a vision first, and then we can start
well,
working.
I think
on it.
everyone,
We can't use impact fees on it, cause we're not changing anything.
No, he's,
You don't, and
it's
you don't
gonna
have
be,
impact fees anyway. You pretty much exhausted most of your impact fees.
what's that?
You pretty much exhausted most of your impact fees.
yeah.
But,
So we
so,
had some coming available, no?
They're always available. There's some being retired. Was pretty sure last time we looked, there's very little in there. If there's
Right,
not enough.
it's-
Well, we still wanna do the playground, that's why we're waiting for that little to grow a little bit.
Oh,
so we
yeah.
can do a playground
We can
now.
find out how much is in there, but I thought there was almost nothing
But now,
there.
So when you
one thing that we did, I know, with Sawmill, and if we do take down the woods in that 1 acre, we clear some trees, I mean, we might be
behind
looking.
the,
Right.
courts, behind the tennis courts?
No, no.
He's back to Jeff Lynn.
Jeff-
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said sawmill. I thought you said
But I mean, there could be some money generated from that as well, so that could go towards at least clearing the stumps, so that cost doesn't,
But changing the playground structure over there and knocking it down doesn't change? When you said no, we can't,
we'll be parking for it's all for recreational use.
okay,
Right.
all right. So if it's, regardless if it's parking or a
Right.
playground, it's still, right, okay. So it doesn't change the,
That way the neighbors will be happy, they're not gonna be parking all up and down the
yeah,
street.
yeah. It
and-
would be nice to, we talked about it. We
And
talked
it's
about
better
it for
on
years.
Corning now than it used to be with what we did over there, making that layout. There's still some parking issues, but not as bad as it used to be.
Right, fits about another 30 cars in there, or maybe 20 cars.
They were 3 deep the other day, which shocked me. There was a whole group blocked in the middle. I don't
Kurt's
know
doing
what
an
the
amazing
thought
job
process
over
was with that.
He's really doing a good job. With baseball, Kurt,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything else? Great, make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Done. See you in 2 weeks.
So June 14th